Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Danjo number 9115 609 antique brass polybagged extended lip strike. This is a very common strike in terms of its height, in terms of its lip length, and of course antique brass is not uncommon. Let's dissect the part number. 9115. First of all, what that means is when you buy a 9000 series strike from Danjo, it's going to come polybagged. It's going to literally come in a bag like this. The 115 refers to the size of the strike in both its 2 1/4 inch height and while the overall is 2 inch, this is called an 1.5 inch strike because all strikes are measured from the center line of the lip, from the center line of the screws to the edge of the lip. And this is an 1.5 inch extension. It's not an 1.5 inch extension. It's about 1/4 inch larger than standard. Standard, or 3/16 maybe. Standard strikes are anywhere from 1 3/16 lip length, screw to edge, 1 1/4 inch, 5/16, 1 3/8. That range is fairly typical, but 1 1/4 is pretty normal. So this is about 1/4 inch greater than standard. Why you would need this? Well, your strike plate is not long enough to prevent the latch bolt from the lock making premature contact with the frame, the casing, the wall, whatever the condition is. You might also have a scenario into which the door is set a bit deeper into the frame than standard. The normal inset of a door is about 1/8 inch. When you stand on the pull side of the door, when you run your hand over the face of the door and the face of the frame, the door is generally kicked in just a little bit, about 1/8. Well, if that was 3/8 inch for some reason, you would likely need an 1/4 inch extended lip strike. Okay, 609 means two things. It means that it's made of solid brass, but it also means that it is an antique brass finish. Obviously, antique brass is incredibly popular to see in construction that was done in the early first half of the 1970s, late 1960s, I think. You'll see antique brass, 1970s, I think. Very common that you're going to have dark stained walnut doors, and you're going to have antique brass, Copa knobs by Kwikset. Very common sort of situation. This strike also has a square corner. You can also order this as an RC for radius corner, where it'd give you a 1/4 inch radius. It's going to include 2 screws and a complementary finish. There is a link below this video to a document called Template. And by the way, if you're thinking of extended lip strikes, you might need wide throw hinges. Those two items sometimes go hand in hand. If you need to kick the door out a little bit, or the door is kicked in a little bit more than standard, you might need a hinge that moved the pivot point out a little bit as well. Separate topic, but nonetheless, they occasionally go hand in hand. Link below this video to a document called Template will show you all of the dimensional properties that I've not given in the video, but we'll also tell you that the strike is 18 gauge or 50 thousandths of an inch thick. And to put that into perspective, that is the common thickness of like a commercial kick plate. References also to the other finishes: 605 polished brass, 609 antique brass, 619 satin nickel, 620 antique nickel, and all 4 of those finishes would be on a brass-based material. You can do a 630, which is a solid stainless steel with a satin finish. And then you can do a DU, which is called Duracoat, dark brown, Duranautic. It's a powder coat finish generally over stainless steels. To get that oil rubbed sort of idea, you could do that as well. Okay. There is a link below this video as well to a document called Product Catalog. And that document is incredibly helpful because it will allow you to review all things strike plate related from Danjo. When it comes to not only extended lip strikes, but security strikes, common strikes, uncommon strikes, custom strikes. If you said, I need a strike, and you had a blank piece of paper and you drew it, they can make it. That's the bottom line. And we would obviously quote that for you. There's finally a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all the Danjo products that we sell, a link to the manufacturer's website, a link to the full line catalog, but also a link to all the subsections of the catalog. Here's what you need to know about Danjo. They're most widely known for their door reinforcing U-shaped wraparound plates and their latch protectors. If you needed either of those products, it's very likely you're going to bump into Donjo. But as you look at all of those other subsections, you can see that they're a comprehensive provider of trim and auxiliary hardware. I'm partial to Donjo, and it's because they focus on one thing, they do it very well, their customer service people are responsive, they're pleasant, they're nice, technical support is all wrapped up into one, reliable, predictable shipping, lead times, etc. And if there's ever an error that they've made, they are 100% of the time fixing it. If you have any questions on the Donjo 9115 in a 609 finish antique brass, extended lip strike, or any other Donjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.